Welcome to Messy Bun Sisters Podcast.
I'm Alyssa.
I'm Lauren. And this is episode 24. I'm sorry, that caught me off guard because it's hard.
I'm not actually
I'm Alyssa.
Alyssa, as you can tell.
Yes, Alyssa is sick. And she you know what? She didn't even tell me she was sick. My mom told me she was sick, and so here we are.
I hope you feel better.
Yeah, Alyssa, we hope you feel better if you're watching too.
Not a good time to be sick.
Why?
Corona.
Oh,
yeah.
uh-oh.
Hopefully you don't have Corona.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so true. That took a turn really quick.
Hopefully you don't.
We obviously have guests this week.
Hi.
Introduce yourselves.
I am Damaris Guerra Casares, the most Mexican name out there.
I don't know. I think
And
Star
I
might be.
am 27 years old, San Antonio native, and I'm just super excited to be here with you guys.
Yay.
And I'm Star Guerra Gandara, so I think I beat you. And also a San Antonio native, and yeah, we're really excited to be here.
Yay, we can talk about San Antonio
Yeah.
stuff too.
Puro San Antonio.
Okay,
San Antonio.
what's your favorite restaurant in San Antonio? Go.
Ooh. Right now, I'd probably say El Mirasol.
Margaritas though.
It's so yummy there.
is, yeah.
So good.
Star.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have one, to be honest. I'm like really picky.
Okay,
when it
top
comes
two.
to-
Top four.
Is it ghetto that I like Las Palapas?
No.
Like,
No, I was gonna
Palapas
say
is
Las-
not ghetto.
say Las
love Las
Palapas.
Palapas so much.
and
If you
maybe
would have said
down
like
on Great-
Taqueria Jalisco number
Down on
14,
Great-
Yeah.
maybe.
Yes, that's my favorite too.
14.
Yes.
Oh, well, I also like shout out to my in-laws who have a restaurant, J&I Cafe.
Oh yes, they are like my top one.
They're
for-
really
yeah,
good.
They're actually really
they have
good.
really great breakfast.
Wait, where
Really
they
great.
are?
They're
Where are
on-
they
Where,
at?
where they are.
Where are they at?
Well,
Where
girl,
is
let me
it?
tell you. So they're actually off of East Houston Street. So do you know where like
Oh.
Spaghetti Warehouse is at and like
Yeah.
Steak Coffee? Like you keep
Yeah.
going down there to the left. It's like this little
Wow.
home roll,
Best
but
tacos in San Antonio.
homemade
Really?
tortillas and like yeah,
Plug.
plug. It's really good. J&I Cafe, check it out. y'all.
Maybe I'll order them on Favor
Favor.
Delivery.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
You know what? I almost wore a Favor sweatshirt today.
shut up.
I tried to go this whole season wearing something
We're
Favor.
matching.
Maybe we should have done like black gray, but whatever.
Oh, how cute are
We
we?
should just have a band or
So
something.
cute.
Like a pop band.
Yay.
Anyways, sorry.
Okay, cool. All right, we're going to say bye to all of our friends on Instagram. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening. See you later. Bye. So those of you that don't know, we stream on Instagram, first 5 minutes of our podcast on Instagram. So pay attention to our... Oops. I want to share this story forever.
Turn on your notifications.
Turn on your... Wait, can you get notifications
Yeah,
on
you can.
Instagram?
You
Whenever-
100%
I always get a
can.
notification when you go live.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You know how like you can like if there's someone you have a crush on, you can like see when they come on
Look,
AIM.
see,
Remember
look.
back in the day? Same thing.
Oh,
way.
put your notifications
Yeah.
on, guys.
Turn it on.
Yep. You didn't have an AIM?
No.
Wow.
What are they
We're really old, Lauren.
Yeah.
We had AOL
They're
Instant
talking about-
Messenger.
Don't forget to talk in the mic.
Oh, sorry. I'm like.
I know. I
feel
tell Trent, I'm like,
so
hey.
loud that he's gonna have to edit me like way down.
No, we are really loud.
No,
on this
Okay,
podcast.
you'll be good.
You can scream
Okay.
in this. AIM, AOL Instant Messenger. Y'all didn't have that?
Oh, AOL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I didn't
Like the messenger?
yeah. But we
Yeah.
never like. I never used.
I used to
it
set
or anything.
alerts. There was a few people I had crushes on when they would come on. You'd hear like the door open, grrr, and you get an alert. And then when they'd go offline, you're like, oh.
Wait,
my God.
couldn't you
really creepy,
have
though.
a specific sound for that person?
I believe so.
that's
I know
cool.
you'd get a pop up at least.
Because I think that's how I would know if like my crush came on. is
Like it was
he-
a certain sound.
He had a specific sound. I'm pretty sure.
That is
Oh.
so.
I don't know, I
funny.
could be
That was
wrong.
before MySpace, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Yahoo
I mean,
Messenger.
whatever. I don't-
We're real old, okay?
Did you have a MySpace?
I didn't.
Oh,
I
my
wasn't
gosh.
allowed.
Yeah,
It was too like dark for my parents.
Oh.
Dark.
I guess it was just like, yeah, we weren't
But then you
allowed.
realize you could like choose different backgrounds.
Everyone learned HTML just to customize their MySpace
I legit
page.
took an HTML class
And
because
then
I
there
was like,
but then there was
Ah,
like
committed.
drama
No.
with like, because I remember my brother had one, and there'd be
Yeah.
drama like if you didn't put people on your
Your
top,
top
whatever.
Yeah.
like,
Top 8.
Yeah, people would get like legit mad. So I think I'm kind of glad I stayed out of that drama.
Yeah,
We're
I
also
mean,
like 10.
yeah.
we were really young.
So much drama.
I think
But
I
there was
was. Wait. Okay, no, because I was in college. Was I in college? Yeah, I was in college when MySpace or when Facebook took over. Wait.
We were in college. Yeah, it was like our freshman, sophomore year in college when
Yeah.
Facebook switched and became like the
Yeah.
new hit.
I was
Yeah.
allowed to get Facebook. So I kind of jumped on the Facebook scene
So
when that was
Facebook, when
happening.
it first came out, you only could have it if you had an EDU account. So there was 1 year where I didn't have it, and then the year I had the EDU account, I was like, yes, I'm a part of this like college group or whatever. Literally the next year, it's like everyone can
Everyone
have
had
it.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
when I
like,
jumped
yeah.
on.
I was like, ah. But anyway, okay. So now we are gonna do our
Review of the week. Yeah.
Okay, so this week's review of the week is actually from last week's podcast. We did a Bachelor recap. Do you guys watch The Bachelor?
Of course, yes.
Hey,
I don't.
I watched
Really? I
one
don't watch
season of it.
Me too.
The one with the black girl.
You
That's
did?
the one I watched.
Rachel,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow, good
And that
for
was
you.
it.
That was a long time ago. That was
Yeah.
back.
So I was telling them last week is the only season I watched was Trista and Ryan,
Oh,
which was like a long.
Yeah.
It was like the
Time ago.
first Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's the only
gosh.
one I watched.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So you hated it that much that you just didn't watch it again?
Well, they're the only ones that like have stayed together.
Here's the thing.
So-
I love trash TV.
That's
I
what
will not
Alyssa
watch
said
any
too.
movies, but
Yeah.
I will watch trash TV like
Yeah.
all the time.
Alyssa's like
So
that
I'm
too.
obsessed with The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Very invested.
So what are so what are your all's thoughts on Victoria F? Because that's what we talked about.
Oh,
last
she
week.
needs
my
to go home.
gosh. That girl,
She's cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Like honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So done with her.
I'm done with her. I was done with her like 5 episodes.
So I think when this comes out, he will have proposed like this.
we'll
night.
know who it was.
Yeah.
Wait, tonight?
No. When
Oh.
this comes out,
Oh.
that's gonna be the night he proposes.
But did y'all
So
hear
it's gonna be a good night.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear the what?
the rumor?
What's the
you
rumor?
know-
No,
I don't know because
so.
then
Well,
people
no.
will get it spoiled.
No, because it's coming out
Yeah.
tonight.
Let's just spoil it.
No,
Okay.
because
Oh, wait.
tonight.
I don't
So then when this comes out,
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be when he proposes.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask you. I think we're talking about the same rumor.
Why are you whispering?
I know.
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay.
That's a different rumor.
What is
so
it?
I
Tell
won't
me.
spoil if I
I
say
want the
anything.
tea.
No,
you
you're
won't.
not because
So I've heard multiple rumors because I have a friend Coke who's obsessed with this show. I don't
Shout
know
out
why.
Coke.
Shout out Coke Capshaw.
Coke Capshaw.
Coke Hodge Capshaw.
That's his
Middle
full
name
name.
is
That's
Hodge.
That's his real name.
Hodge.
That's his real name?
Coke
Wow.
Hodge.
Wait, Coke like
Just
Coca-Cola?
like the drink and
That's
the
really
drug.
That-
Like the drink and the drug.
Y'all need
That's
to
a
meet him.
pretty cool
Y'all
name.
would like him.
Yeah, with like Coke.
Anyway.
So the rumor is that he actually ends up with it's a guy, right? Yeah, he ends up with a
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the guy ends up with the guy. I was like, wow.
2020. He ends up
The most
with
dramatic finale.
I know.
a producer on the show that there's and that it might this will be already aired that it's confirmed actually.
So this comes out the
Or
same
stop
time.
listening if you don't want to hear spoilers.
yeah, spoiler
Like, if you're
alert
behind.
after the spoiler
Yeah.
just said.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
okay, so what?
So apparently he ends up with a producer on the show and that's why they've been showing a lot more producers this season, like behind the scenes. Like you see a lot of the producers come out.
Are any
He
of them
actually-
hot?
No.
I don't know. I don't watch the show.
She's like,
But
no.
apparently that's what has happened, and we will know
Tonight.
Maybe tonight.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
this airs.
So apparently he ends up with a producer. And so
Dominique, what's the rumor you heard?
Well, but maybe everybody knows that through like the commercials and whatnot. But that is it, Maddie, the Christian? Well, she's like really
Madison?
Yeah. That she takes off and the mom is crying about her
Aw.
because she ends up finding out that he's actually like been with the other girls, and she
Yeah.
said that's a huge deal breaker for me. And
Yeah.
like on Fantasy Suite Night, she finds out.
Which is tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight,
So I think they say she takes off and the mom's like, you need to go get her. Like that's what the
and
drama
the mom
is.
comes in, and then the mom marries Pete.
And that,
They are obsessed. They're really close
and that,
family.
no, and that apparently he's only, I guess, I doubt Victoria's going to make it to the
Oh, no,
end.
I think
so it
Victoria's gonna
ends
be
up
sent home
being
tonight.
like
Yeah.
Madison.
or last week.
Yeah, whatever
spoiler-
this is. Yeah.
The spoiler is that like he was going to choose Madison, but because she left, he ends up choosing someone else. But if you're saying he's choosing a producer,
Rebound.
I have no idea. So
I've got my sources.
Who are
That's
your
what's gonna-
sources? The internet.
Coke Hodge Capshaw.
Oh,
And
Say
he
the
has
name
his
again.
sources.
Yeah.
Coke Hodge.
I've read a lot of spoilers, but I don't think they're true.
I don't know. I'm
Alyssa was
confused.
saying last week about someone named Rumor Steve or Bachelor Steve. Well, remember what it was, Trent? No? Okay. You don't have a
Look at,
microphone
he's got
tonight?
like fancy
you do.
in-ears in.
I do have a mic.
Oh.
Those are nice.
Nice.
What kind of inners are those?
64s.
No, they're
Skull candy.
JH audio.
JH Audio. Shout out
Cute.
to JH Audio.
All right. So the review for the
Oh, yeah. We went way off.
Wow.
I know. That's okay. That's what we do. Peter is the worst bachelor ever.
Agreed.
It's the
Yeah.
review
I agree.
from.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's the worst bachelor ever?
I just feel like he's really indecisive.
Yeah.
I feel like he needs to have like a little more backbone. That's just me.
with
though.
Victoria F.
No, just in general. Like with every girl, like this whole season, it's been a lot of drama because he's asking everybody what they think.
Yeah.
And he's not even like, he doesn't even really care what they think, but he's just asking to be polite. And it's just like, you're choosing someone for the rest of your life and you're asking what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Well-
And like they're not going to have your best interest.
And one thing Alyssa was saying that they shoot from start to finish 8 weeks.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
I know, and I'm
crazy.
like, I don't know how you can find
How do you
love
propose to someone that
in
quick?
8
Yeah.
That's
weeks. I
scary.
mean, some people do.
Well, and
but
another
like,
thing that a friend pointed out was like, apparently there's been a pattern with like every woman that cries to him, he ends up giving the first
Yes,
like the
he
rose
does.
to, which is really weird because there's like this savior syndrome. Then like I need to be a woman's
Yeah.
savior. So
I
if
actually heard a
she's
podcast and he was a 8 on the Enneagram.
what?
that's weird.
Yeah.
that
I was
is
listening.
kind of weird.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
was
so weird.
It's going
Yeah.
to be either
You know.
a 2 or an 8.
I could
feel-
see a 2.
I believe
It's
a
a 2 or
2.
an 8.
But
Who?
an 8, I
Peter.
don't see that.
Abe doesn't.
So
watch-
maybe
I don't watch
I
The
don't.
Bachelor.
I don't
I'm
watch
getting
The
my numbers wrong.
Bachelor. He doesn't watch.
No, but I
The
listen to a
Bachelor.
lot of podcasts, and I think it was either a 2 or an 8. I'm getting
I
A
could
two-
see
It's probably a
2,
2.
but
Oh yeah, because it was 2 wing 1.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
so then he was a 2.
which I could see that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like there's this thing in him that goes after like it's almost like he needs women to need him.
Yeah.
And to me, that just shows insecurity personally.
sure.
And so I'm just like,
That's why I think
I
he's
don't know.
like
It's
been
just,
the worst.
I thought Ari was the worst for a while. You know, Ari was the one who like got engaged.
I don't watch.
That was
Oh,
a couple
man.
seasons back. I thought he was the worst, but I don't know. I feel like this guy's kind of. He's just
He's
kind
just
of
kinda
made it
like-
really pathetic
too-
this
That's
season.
so
He's just made the
sad.
season a little pathetic, unfortunately. But whatever.
Well, who do you think's going to be the Bachelorette?
The
Next.
producer. The producer is going to be the bachelor.
Oh my God! No. For next season, do you think the producer is going to be the Bachelorette?
Cameras are going to be flipped. I don't know because I don't watch.
Oh yeah, who do you guys think is going to be the Bachelorette?
You
Madison.
can probably speak more into that because I don't really know.
I would say Madison, but then I don't think Madison would say yes because she wouldn't do fantasy suites, and ABC would want her to do.
Yeah,
fantasy
my question
suites.
is, would they let a virgin?
No, absolutely not.
Be
Because
Well, they
because
let Colton?
No, because Colton said I was just waiting for the right person, not waiting for marriage. He was just waiting to be in love.
oh.
Like, he never
But
made it about marriage.
They could make it this whole thing, and then the whole season will be about this virgin that's a
But then that's
bachelorette.
just like
No.
they've already been there, done
That's
that with
boring.
Colton. Yeah, with Colton. Now it's
Has
just going to
there
be the
been a
female
Latina
version.
Bachelorette. That's
There
what
is.
I
There
want to know.
is.
Okay, so first off,
That's another reason why I don't watch The Bachelor because I'm not represented in
is
the
true. There
Bachelor
hasn't been any.
you
franchise.
have to have had a Latina.
Or like
No?
A bachelorette?
Hispanic
Maybe.
Bachelor. That'd be nice.
They haven't had a. Have they had a black
We're all
bachelor?
married.
I know.
oh, Bachelor.
They had a
Not married.
bachelorette that was
Oh, yeah.
black, but they haven't had a black bachelor.
That's true.
Maybe it'll be Mike from last season.
Wasn't there? He's from San. There was a black guy from San Antonio.
Yeah, Mike.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Hmm.
All right. Well, you
Well, we
guys
should
will
have been
know.
here for last
You
week's
guys will know tonight when The
Yes.
Bachelor airs who wins, and I'll text you guys and be like, "Oh, the producer won."
Really?
my
Oh,
God.
8 weeks and then you propose?
That's
That's what Alyssa says. That
crazy.
they from
thought
start
it
to
was 12.
finish.
Maybe it is 8.
Even if it's still 12, that's 3 months. That's like nothing.
Yeah.
That's the first trimester of having a baby.
That is true.
You know, that's
insane.
that's too
It's a
silly.
Short. I've been working on it for 31 years, going strong.
Who wants to marry Abe? Let's
Shout out.
You know,
we should have a
I'm
bachelor
the next
for
bachelor.
Abe.
Let's sign Abe up.
Let's just do our own.
Right?
Abe, would
you
you
get to
do
pick
it?
all the people, and then
Yes.
every week.
Would you
Oh.
be down?
Would you be down?
It's really uncomfortable.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
I'll vlog all your dates.
Oh my!
There you go.
Oh my
Trent just creeping around
gosh.
with cameras.
There you go. We'll interview them
Abe's-
like one by one.
The Bachelor, sponsored by Messy Bun Sisters.
And favor delivery.
The They'll do all the dinners.
Yeah. Wow.
Abe.
And we can get it from
J and I.
J and I tacos.
Yeah.
East Houston.
Oh my
Cafe
God.
Houston.
You guys, if you want to see a Bachelor for Abe, the Bachelor version for the Abe, let us know. Like this.
Yeah.
Like or comment or something.
Comment.
Let us know.
Comments.
Because for real. Okay. So we're moving on now
Abe
to.
2020.
Wait, do you guys remember the song? We're going to
It's
do
that
it together.
run.
Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Ooh wee. That's news to me.
That's news to me. Ooh wee. That's news to me. That's news to me.
Okay, we miss you, Alyssa.
I did pretty good.
You did good. You did good.
We did you,
Okay,
girl.
so I don't know if you guys are up to speed on this, and I hope you guys are because I would love to hear y'all's take on this. Today, Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape
No
and sexual
way.
assault.
Wait, what?
Spoiler alert, I didn't even look at the news today.
Wait, she's about to tell
I'm
us.
about
Okay,
to, it's
well-
a news story of the week.
Wait, what?
That's
Harvey
news to
Weinstein
me.
was found guilty.
Get it? That's news to me.
That's why. it's
That's news
out
to
there.
me.
All angry. Oh my gosh.
Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape and sexual assault and has been thrown in jail. Are y'all
Like,
know what
literally
y'all know?
thrown.
I guess he's like 100.
Such like a hard
You know,
sport.
I don't know if you
Is
guys.
this
He's got a
The
walker
producer
though.
guy?
Yeah, he like started the Me Too movement pretty much. This whole thing. What?
Wow. He has his little walker and everything.
Yeah, and I think like he didn't
I
have
hope
that
they
little.
didn't throw him because he's
I hope they did.
yeah, I hope
just like
they-
toss him.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Go on, get
like from the French Prince.
the French. The French Prince of Bel Air.
The fresh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay.
Wait, I feel like we shouldn't be laughing. This is
Oh, that is really.
intense.
That actually is really.
So basically, if you guys don't know, kind of the whole story of Harvey Weinstein, he was a producer in Hollywood for years and years and years, and a lot of women came out saying that they were sexually assaulted by him. Well, basically, he requested sexual acts in like in returns of like, oh, I'm gonna put you in a movie kind of thing. And so he, I guess it was like 2 or 3 years ago, basically started the whole Me Too movement. Like, hey, come out if you've been sexually assaulted. Basically, it kind of started in the Hollywood. I feel in the Hollywood industry where it was like,
Yeah.
hey, if you have ever been asked to do a sexual act in return, you're gonna get in favor. Or what's it called? Anyway, but like if you were promised like a part in a movie or something, like we all have done it pretty much. Like, let's stand up. But anyway, so it's been a couple years, and a jury today found Harvey Weinstein guilty of raping a woman and sexually assaulting another woman, and has been jailed pending his March 11th sentencing. He was acquitted for 2 of the most serious charges, and that carried a life sentence. After a 6-week trial, jurors took 4 days to convict him after hearing the testimonies of 6 women who provided harrowing accounts of how Weinstein used his power and influence to coerce them into non-consensual and degrading sexual encounters. I mean, that's really sad.
It is really sad.
Oh, this story is super long. Oh my God.
Wow.
It was really
It
long.
just keeps going and going and going. But anyway, I don't know if you guys had like heard or had any
hadn't.
opinions
That's-
of that. I guess Abe was waiting for the news to happen.
Well, that's news to me. Yeah, no, that's really crazy. I don't really have a lot of opinions on it. From all the things I heard, he just seemed like a really disgusting person, and
Yeah.
all the things. And it's one of those like, for me, it was like, okay, you heard 1 or 2, but it was from like 20-something years ago, and then all these new ones started coming out,
Yeah.
and they all had the exact same like similarities.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird. Very disgusting, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
you know, it's crazy that it happened, not just with him, but like multiple people
Yeah.
in Hollywood, and it's silly. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's all like coming
Getting
out.
aired and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, he's getting what he deserves pretty much is
Yeah.
jail time.
Yeah, I'm very like high justice. So when I hear that justice has been served, I'm
Yeah.
like, it kind of just brings peace to me.
Yeah.
Versus like when you see these situations where, they're able to get around it, whether it's because they have so much influence or money or whatever. And you see these women that really did everything and put themselves out there to come out about how, shameful they might have kind of lived even during that time from
Yeah.
what they were going through. And it's not so much shame that they put on themselves, but someone else put on them because of how they made them feel.
Yeah.
And when they come out and they're, using their voice to try to protect others, and yet that's not seen. Like, I don't know if you guys got to see that movie too, the whole Fox movie thing. What was it called again?
The Bombshell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to see it so
Oh my
bad.
gosh, it's like my husband and I had so many great conversations after that, but it's like angering.
That
Like
guy
when you
died,
see-
right? Roger Arias.
I think he recently passed. I feel like I read that last week or
Yeah.
something.
And it's just one of those things where I think sometimes like women have just had, it's just harder, I think, for us to tell our story sometimes and for it to be taken seriously, especially
Yeah.
when there's an influential man involved. Sometimes it just gets pushed away. So I'm just glad to hear that justice has been served for these women that
Yeah.
all suffered by his hand. you know?
And times are changing and it's
Oh,
making
yeah.
me happy.
Yeah.
For
Even with
sure.
like Jeffrey Epstein, like that whole thing, like
Yeah.
it sucks that, I don't want to say it sucks that he died because I wanted him to see justice. I wanted him to like face these women face to face. The woman could get closure too. I'm like, hey, you like are the worst person ever.
Yeah.
Try not to curse here.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you're awful. I hate you. And they didn't get that because he offed himself. Or did he?
Who
I don't
knows?
know. He had.
I think like one of the like also super huge disappointment was when the whole Cosby thing came out
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like, because we all like looked up to him growing up, and we like loved the show. And then years later, all of this comes out, and it's like you almost even didn't want to believe it, but then you had to like look at the facts and look at the
Yeah.
whole situation and be like, women did suffer by this. And so you, as much as you love someone and you put them on this pedestal sometimes because they're an idol of yours or whatever,
Yeah.
it's really hard to remove them from that and like look at them as, a predator or whatever. And so,
It's
things
so
like that. Yeah.
sad.
It's just really, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad and it's hard. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad justice.
Yeah.
For me,
is
mine
being
was
served.
in the midst of it all was the whole Matt Lauer thing, because
Oh,
I
you're
watched the
obsessed
Today
with that.
Show like religiously every single morning. That's what I watched. And I remember waking up that morning, and my buddy Rico messaged me. It was like 6:55, and they were like, "Your boy Matt Lauer just got fired." And I was like, "What?" And I turned on the news, and I watched it live as it happened, and then I feel like I kind of rewatched it all recently with that TV show on Apple TV, The Morning Show, where they cover.
Really good. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and it's kind of like hinting along the same lines upon it, but I just remember then I was like, I feel like that's when we were in the middle of all of it. Like, I feel like it's kind of not calming down now, but I remember Me Too, it like skyrocketed, and it was like accusation after for everybody. Now it's kind of like tapering off, and it's becoming just kind of, I don't know, I feel like normalized. But I remember Matt Lauer was like a huge one for me, and I was like, man, like I liked him
Like
as a
this
newscaster. I liked
guy,
everything
yeah.
about him, and then I was like, well,
Wow.
yeah,
But he's also a piece of crap.
it is crazy.
So sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about something happy.
It's like,
The Guerra sisters. All right. Thank you guys for being on our podcast, even though
Thanks for
Alyssa's sick.
having us.
I'm so excited. And so just so you, I don't know if you how much you know about our podcast, but like we love having sisters on. We love like talking about, okay, Abe. We love like having like the sister dynamic. It's like one of our favorite things because Alyssa and I are so close. And just so you guys know that they do have another sister.
Yes.
I
Shout
don't
out
know-
to Priscilla.
I don't know her as well.
Have I ever met this other sister?
Maybe.
Priscilla, I feel like you, maybe.
Is she older, younger?
She's younger.
Maybe.
We've interviewed another sister group that we're like friends with too, that she has another sister, but she's younger. So, like, yeah, how old is she?
24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's 24.
So, okay, so let's talk about y'all. Like, what is y'all's age difference? Tell me about, I know you guys are from San Antonio, but first let's talk about where y'all are from in San Antonio and like your age difference and like how that was affecting y'all like growing up together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Go
want to
ahead. Well, I mean, you're older.
Yeah, we'll go
I
by
am
age. We'll
older.
go in age. We'll go by age.
Everybody always thought Star was older growing up because she's taller than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm older. And we're 14 months apart. So it was,
Wow.
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
born 92.
93.
And so a lot of times, like, I feel like growing up, everyone would ask us, are y'all twins? Which we were like, we look nothing
don't,
alike.
yeah.
Like, that's what we thought.
Y'all do though.
Now we see it a little
I
bit.
don't.
Look
well,
at them looking
maybe
at
the
you.
eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all I see is Isaid.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Yeah, we both actually. You know when was it Snapchat that did the face thing?
Like
Yeah.
the guy,
When we would do
look
the
just
guy,
like
we are
Isai.
legit Isai.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
weird.
Like it's hilarious.
Yeah. And how many are in y'all's family?
So my dad has 14 kids, but
Wow.
between him and my mom, there's 6 of us.
I
But-
did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm number 10. It's like, I always
What?
remember
She prides
that.
herself on
the
that.
perfect 10.
I'm 10.
But yeah, so
I had
there's
no
a lot
idea.
of us.
Wow.
So, we have like
What our
we
Christmas
have
is like.
nephews and nieces that are actually older than us.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
It makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's interesting for sure. But as far as us 6, we were the ones that kind of traveled together, grew up
Yeah.
like, really, tight knit. And so, people thought we were twins, which we never saw that because I was like, I'm super dark and she's
Yeah.
super light. And obviously we didn't know what fraternal twins were.
Oh my god.
We only thought twins were identical, apparently.
Yeah. Alyssa and I, Alyssa is like more darker skin and I'm more fair skin.
Yeah.
So I always was so jealous of Alyssa.
I was actually always jealous of I wanted lighter skin.
Really?
And I
That's
mean,
really
now I
funny.
embrace my
Yeah, it's so
skin tone.
nice.
But
Yeah.
when I was little, I was like, because I was really, really dark when I was little. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Alyssa
if
too.
you lighten as you get older or what happens.
Like Michael Jackson.
Your skin stretches out. Wow.
So weird. Okay, anyways.
I'm sorry. I'm glad Abe is here to
But
keep
how
us
old are
grounded.
you?
I'm
didn't even
27.
say your
I
age.
did say
Oh,
my
I
age
was
at
in
the
the beginning.
beginning.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
27.
Okay,
I'll be
27.
28 this year in May.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm 26 and I'll be 27 this year.
Yeah. So
Those are good years.
26 was my favorite year. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Really?
I loved being 26.
25, I
Wow.
felt weird. I feel like I turned the corner and it was like, gosh, now I'm just tired. And everything's expensive.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
true though. Like adulting is it's real.
I feel like when you hit your I feel like right when you graduate college, like you're still in like your younger 20s. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm still in like this young adult college phase. And then you hit your mid to upper 20s and you're like, no, these kids think I'm lame probably. And if I was to go back and
Right?
walk on my college campus, they'd be like, oh, I go to class with an adult, like
Oh
an
my
old
gosh.
person. So,
Yeah.
But
how I
I'm
feel.
looking forward to 30 though. Like
Are
I
you?
actually
Oh,
can't wait
wow.
to be 30. Like I don't know. I have a really good feeling about 30. I don't know.
That's
we
why.
good.
we
Just
said
really
the
want a
same
big party.
thing.
I do want a huge
Like, I think that's what
party.
she's looking forward to. Like, she
I
wants
am
this
gonna do a huge party, but like,
Yeah.
but I'm also just looking forward to 30. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I just feel
Maybe
like
you'll be a mom by 30.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
that's
really
good.
don't
That'd
know.
be cool.
I thought I was going to be a mom by 30 and now I'm 32.
Honestly, like I'm not
You're,
rushing
like,
to have
so
kids.
young.
So
Yeah, me neither.
like,
Yeah.
if it happens, cool. Like when I'm, I honestly
Yeah.
want to wait till I'm 30 to start having kids.
Yeah.
Though. Like that's just kind of me. But
That's what I
anyways.
said. I'm just like, maybe I want to wait till I'm 35. Maybe
Well,
I'm
it's
gonna-
because like
Right.
at first I was like when my husband and I got married, and I'm probably jumping conversation.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
But like I remember being like, oh, we'll probably be married like 2.5 years, and then we'll start having kids. And then we were like married. It's gonna be 4 years this year. We're
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
nope.
Ooh,
Like
yeah.
I also was a nanny for 4 years, and that
Oh,
may
God.
have done it for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I'm tired of raising people's kids. Like it was great. I learned
Yeah.
so much, and it was such a great experience. But I think also in that season, I was just like, I can't do this. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't for
Yeah.
myself, in that season. And so I've stepped away from it and have just kind of, I don't know, I'm putting my time into some other things, and I just don't feel like I could do that right now.
Yeah.
But
Both of y'all were nannies, right?
yeah.
Do you feel like, okay, going back to the twins thing, do you guys feel like y'all did a lot of the same things being so close
Oh,
in
for
age?
sure.
Yeah.
Like the
Everything. Yeah,
nanny
pretty much.
thing, like wanting to sing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel,
I feel like
Being-
not so much in like the work aspect, like of nannying, because you didn't really care for it. Like, because I started doing that when I was
Yeah,
like 16
you did it first.
or 15, but you didn't really care for it. I don't.
I
Think.
mean, I liked I don't know. I liked making money. So, and obviously I've always had a nurturing heart. So
Yeah.
like doing something that I loved
Yeah.
was like loving on kids was a huge thing for me, and the fact that I could make a job out of it was
Yeah.
was awesome. But it wasn't something that I was like, oh, this is like, I'm super passionate about this, versus
Yeah.
I feel like you've
Yeah,
always
I've
had
always
the
worked with
huge
kids,
passion
yeah.
for kids, and you even worked with elderly. Like
Yeah.
she just has like a bigger
just
heart.
wants to
for all
are you
that.
a two?
What am I? I don't even know. I read the book and everything, but I don't even.
I don't feel like
remember.
you're. Yeah, I
think
can't
you
remember
told me and I
yours.
can't remember.
Was it a 4?
No.
I I feel like you might be a 4, but I can't
don't know.
remember.
We'll take
time.
the test and we're done.
yeah.
we have to.
So it sounds like a 2. Is people who are like really nurturing and wanting to help people.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
like a total 2 trait.
For
But,
sure.
But I
don't
feel
know,
like
we'll
I've
see.
learned a lot about myself this year, and it's
Why
I
do
should
you
say
say that?
2019 because I feel like I've become more of like like I care what people think, and I used to never be like that. And so I feel like I'm more like, am I doing it because I want to do it or because I want to be a people pleaser? And I've never really like been self-aware of that, and I became very self-aware of that maybe like the beginning of this year, and I'm like, wait, I actually don't want to do that, but I'm doing it because I feel like they need me to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Isn't that a 7?
I feel like
too?
that's another conversation, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I feel like I've always loved working with kids, but I feel like sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I'm like, I actually don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be the year where you like realize you don't want to do it, and then you'll be like, okay, now I'm just not going to do it.
But is
Yeah.
that like being selfish?
No, it's
Nope.
not. It's not being selfish at all. It's not.
Well, I mean, I feel selfish for literally just saying I was nanny to make money.
Well,
So,
Nannies make a lot of money.
They
I mean,
do.
they do.
But see,
And it
like
was
me, like I've
honestly-
always hated like working for families and being like, oh, this is how much you owe me, like, because I just hate like.
Oh, I had
like,
no problem
I
with
did
that.
not
I was
like
like,
that.
here is my invoice.
I know.
Like, that's literally
no,
me.
I
Like,
literally cringe to this day every time I have to send an
Really?
invoice. I'm like,
I
I
am like, here is my Venmo request. But
because I would
like-
want to do it for free if I could.
But you're worth it.
You're working,
worth
too.
it.
Oh, and she's like,
But I
you're
just,
like
like,
the
love to
best.
give. Like,
you're
I don't know.
honestly a really good nanny. Like she would do all these activities.
You are
and
too. I
all
can
this
feel
stuff.
it in my bones.
And so- And, well, honestly, though, for me, like I kind of took it on because I needed a job that would work with my schedule.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
doing a lot of traveling, and a 9 to 5 wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And so, it was just one of those things where it was the best job at the time. But thankfully, God's provided elsewhere now. But yeah, it was a seasonal thing. But anyways, it's fat. Go all the way back to what we were talking about. Sorry,
Sorry.
we're
No,
very
I
much
love it.
like we're squirrel girls. Like,
I
we're
love
like,
it.
Squirrel.
I know. Same.
And so anyways, yeah. So
It
it was
bored. Look at his face.
I know. Sorry.
Review.
Review
He's
of
still
our life.
thinking about that.
All right.
But yeah. So anyways, why did I go on that tangent?
I don't know, but
We were talking about doing the same things. Nanny.
Yeah.
We got
Like,
we got a phone.
Talk
the
about
same
growing
time.
up and like.
Yeah.
So okay, we had some sisters on a couple of weeks ago. They grew up on the south side, which was like something. We grew up on the north side of town, so it was like interesting to like hear. They were so prideful of growing up on the southeast side.
Nice.
It wasn't the south side; it was the
Wow, yeah.
southeast side. It was. So, where did you guys grow up? I guess in San Antonio.
We grew up on the north side.
The north side too.
Stone
Yeah.
Oak Parkway.
Oh my gosh, no! We actually grew up on like. Well,
Like
it was the north side. I feel like now it's probably a
more
little,
popular.
but I feel like it's a little ghetto now because we lived off
Really?
of Days of Allah.
Oh,
and-
okay, yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
considered north because it's like right by Chabonneau.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's,
uh-huh.
you know, like 'cause it run, like Northwest Military kind of runs right back there. But then
Yeah.
you've got Days of Allah, and we were like right by I-10. So,
Okay, yeah.
So it was back then like there was not much there. Now you kind of drive through there. I feel like it's
But
not
it's
as
like garden
nice.
homes. It's
Yeah,
not like
there's like
yeah.
yeah,
it's
it's not
still
like
considered
bad.
It's not bad.
but
It's
it's
just kind of
inside
like
the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's inside the loop.
But
So
we didn't like grow up there because we moved when we were like 10. Like we grew up.
and then then we
super
moved to
north.
Spring Branch,
Yeah.
which is way north.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
That's like by Smithson Valley High School. Like
we lived right
way.
in front of Smithson Valley High School.
Yeah, our neighborhood was in front of it.
And y'all
So-
didn't go to school there. So let's talk
No.
about like, so were y'all always homeschooled, or was there a time where your parents were like, okay, everyone, we're just homeschooling today?
No, we were always homeschooled. So my dad is an evangelist,
Yeah.
and he's been in ministry for like over 45 years.
Wow.
So growing up, we basically like he was a pastor for 9 years, and then decided to start traveling. And so when he started having all of us, like he felt that God had put in his heart that his family needed to be with him.
Yeah.
Which we're super grateful for because we did have friends that their dads were in the same kind of ministry but didn't travel with the parents, and sometimes that dynamic wasn't always super healthy because they weren't together.
Yeah.
And that can easily happen in ministry, like in church life. And so
That's
I think my dad really
interesting.
wanted to balance that by having us with him, by having us kind of see what he did. And my mom was his right hand. So we grew up singing. Like my mom said, by the age of like 4.5, we all like wanted the mic. Like it was just, we would walk up to my dad while he was up there and we wanted to sing with him.
Cute.
And
Wait, your dad would sing?
Yeah, my dad sings, plays the saxophone, and he preaches. So, you know, he kind of they would give him the whole service and he would take on the whole thing. And so we grew up in church, basically. Like, you know, we were pretty much born there. So we always say we were born in San Antonio, but raised everywhere because we traveled probably, maybe 75% of the year we were on the road. I think there was one year we were home like 3 months out of the year. So
where you're like, what is this?
Yeah, so that was our normal though. Like we didn't know anything different. So when we would meet, like we had, what was cool, I think for us and a lot of our friends are like, y'all are normal homeschoolers, which I don't even know what
Trent
that
is
means.
too. Trent's homeschooled, and
but
he's a normal.
I think for us it was because all of our friends were like pastors' PK, you know, like PKs, and so they were like pastors' kids and you know, kids from church, and very rarely did we hang out with homeschoolers. All of our friends were like went to just public schools and and so we kind of like,
and I appreciate that our mom never really tried to shelter us from that either.
She was always
like she was always careful with us, but she never like
her little thing to us was you be the right example.
Well, you weren't homeschooled to shelter, to be sheltered. You were just homeschooled because of that's how y'all needed to function.
Traveling and so we're grateful for that, only because it did kind of, I feel like it launched us into kind of what we do now, and all of us are in some capacity are in ministry or you know, a part of a church organization that we work for. And so I'm super thankful for that, and I think it was really like a training ground, because we could walk into, I think the first church that we actually got involved with here in San Antonio was CBC.
Shout out.
We were all at CBC at one point,
so
just
crazy.
at different times.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
And so
Still a great place though.
It was a great place. I met my husband there, so that was a great thing.
So did you, right?
I met my husband
And so did Isai.
And Abe?
Oh yeah, she could be there still.
I don't know what that means, but we're gonna move on.
She could be there.
I don't know if we should ask him about that or not.
I don't know.
Circle back to that.
There was never really anyone at CBC that I was like all about. Trying to think.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, there were.
There were. Oh gosh, there's more than one. Okay. Anyways,
It went from none to
moving on.
Trent's ready to say something.
Say something.
You're so dumb.
He's like, never.
I know.
What was I saying?
Homeschooled, and that we all the first church that you guys were really involved in was CBC.
Was CBC, and I think what was super cool is I think what was really interesting to a lot of people was when we would get asked to come be a part of worship teams or whatever. We'd been doing it all our life, so we weren't these like young 16-year-olds that were like, what do I do? Yeah, like we were very like, sure, what do you need me to do? Like it was very, and so I think that in itself, it just helped us grow in confidence and just kind of being comfortable with really what our calling ended up being and what some of us just really do just because we really are passionate about it and enjoy it. So, growing up, we had like the whole tour bus thing. Like it was like a RV / you know, tour bus, because we like lived in that bus even for when we sold the house. We lived there for like a few months before we bought our new house. Whoa. So it was
just like the Selena movie.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And
wait. Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So your dad, there's 6 of y'all. The 6 of you guys were living in the tour bus?
Yeah, it was 8 of us in a bus.
Oh my! And like, did you have bunk beds or
that bus didn't? Now
how did that work?
Actually, my parents still travel, and they have a trailer that they travel with that has bunk beds and all that now, because they still travel with my youngest sibling. But that bus had like it had this long
like
couch,
size couch that would like fold out into like a king
so
size bed.
So 3 of us could sleep there, and then there was one huge couch on the side, so
which
one person
dad had made.
Yeah, my dad had it made.
Like, so
one person slept there, and then the booth would slide into a bed, so one person could sleep there.
Yeah.
So we all kind of, honestly, there was like no privacy.
But it was like so
like
normal.
If you wanted privacy, you had to go to the restroom.
That sounds like so much fun to me.
Honestly,
As
it
an
was.
extrovert.
It was like some of the best times for us, for real. Like we look back on
we
those
have no
days.
complaints, but I could never do it again.
Well, because I'm thinking like I had a sharing room with my sister growing up, and it was, and Alyssa's not here to defend herself, but it was just like wild. Like I cannot
Really?
imagine sharing my life.
See, we're
with, like,
envious of our little sister because she actually is the only girl who's ever like had her own room.
Because
We
we went
always-
from sharing a room to like getting married, so
Yeah.
we're still sharing a room. I was like,
Yeah.
we never had
Well,
the.
actually, when I lived in California, I had my own
That's true.
room.
You
Yeah.
had your own room.
I
So-
didn't want roommates like at all. I was
yeah,
like,
you're like,
heck
I've
no.
had that.
Bye.
I'm gonna have my own room or
And
my
I've
own
always-
house.
I've always loved it though. Like even when if I go to a sleepover, like at my aunt's, or like I'll sleep with her. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like I love people, and so that just probably sounded weird. I love people.
I'll just sleep in this bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep in this bed with my
Yeah.
friend. It sounded really.
Did you
weird.
ever live alone, Lauren?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've always had roommates too.
Gosh.
Well, you know what? I take that back. I had my own room when I graduated high school. It was like my last year of high school. I had my own room, and then I went to college.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you've
I had
never
roommates.
lived alone in like a residence or anything.
No, I was like about to. Well, no. I've always had roommates. Like I had apartments, but they were
Yeah.
always had. I always
I
had.
feel like that would
roommates
be me. I just like being by myself is like.
together. Yeah, Alyssa,
I just like I like to hear people are in the
Yeah.
next room or whatever. Like I
yeah,
don't know,
even
it's
the
just me.
dogs. Like I know I told y'all
Yes.
today, like I was alone without the dogs and Trent. It was really weird. Like it was good, but then I was like, I heard a dog bark, and usually when a dog barks, Lucy goes like that, and I didn't hear it, and I was like,
You're like,
that's
no,
weird.
this is
I know
weird.
it's weird, you
Aw.
know. But that is crazy that you guys. There was 8 of you guys
Yeah.
in that bus. So where would y'all like go? Like, kind of walk me through like what the experience. Like, how long did y'all do that for? Where did you guys homeschool at? Like in the bus or
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, pretty much in the bus. And then when we got towards the end of like high school, my mom was kind of like, okay, I need you guys to, because we were very much like into the whole curricular thing. We preferred
Yeah.
to do piano lessons or vocal lessons, all the other things except school, because we were like,
Yeah.
"Eh." And so towards the end, my mom was like, no, we're buckling down. And so we literally would just go to the library and just knock it out so we could get it done so we could just graduate.
Yeah.
She was like, you are not getting your GED. You are graduating. We're like, all right, all
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I feel like we would travel probably the longest trip. I think we covered like 10 states in 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we went all the way up to like New York, I think, and we covered like 10 states in 2 months. And what that kind of looked like was we'd pack, for however long we knew we were going to be gone, and then we would we'd work our way up. So like
Yeah.
for example, my parents are in Arizona right now, so they drive from here to El Paso.
Yeah.
And then they'll have some services in El Paso, and then
Yeah.
from there they'll drive to Tucson, and then like they'll work kind of like a
Yeah.
tour. You work your way
Yeah.
up. So that's kind of how we lived traveling. Like if we were going to Colorado, is it Dallas? I don't know what.
Lubbock,
No, that's
Amarillo.
that. I don't know where we're at right now.
Where are we right now?
But
Wait.
yeah, we would just work our way towards where we were
You
going.
wouldn't just do a straight shot.
Yeah,
So
you'd probably
it's
go
like
through
stop.
like Amarillo,
You're right.
Dalhart,
But wait,
all those.
to go to Amarillo, like how do we get out of San Antonio to go to Amarillo?
I-10. Then you
Fredericksburg.
go through Lubbock.
Fredericksburg.
all
You're right.
that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
We
right.
never stopped in
Dalhart.
Fredericksburg.
No, but I remember going through
Oh.
Fredericksburg. Yeah. So
There's nothing
No.
up that
No.
way.
I hate going up there. Never again. Ever.
So yeah, we just like, we would get to whatever city we were going to be in, and we would park the bus. My dad would hook it up, and we would get ready. All 8 of us, we had like one bathroom, one shower. So it was like
Oh
we
my
had, my mom kind of had like this assembly line of like, all right, and so she would make us dinner. It was
This
like
is
a
crazy.
tiny kitchen.
Yeah.
Tiny kitchen. She'd be like grilling burgers or whatever to get us fed, to get us out. And then we would, would get to the church. We would, my dad would, sing, and then we would sing, and then my dad would play the sax and he'd preach, and then we would go sell all my dad's merch.
Nice.
The merch
The best part
stand.
when you just wanted to branch out and start a dance team.
Oh, we
What?
did a little dance team for a
Of
while.
course, my dad was all about it because she was the favorite daughter. So
Oh
he was like,
my
yes, whatever you want to
gosh.
do. So she would do
So
dance
I-
songs to
my
Vicky
first
Yohe.
dan-
Oh my God.
Yes, my first dance that I like choreographed was to Vicky Yohe's
You're gonna have
because
to
of who
show
you
us
are.
some later.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then we did one to CeCe Winans, Holy Spirit.
Nice. I like that song.
And my dad loved it. I remember it, probably the weirdest. I don't even know if I should say this.
I don't even know
It
what
was
you're going to
so
say.
weird.
We're not twins.
My dad made us perform. I remember I was like, what? He made us perform one of our dances at a funeral.
What?
That was the most
That was weird.
awkward.
But okay,
experience.
okay,
Really
but like
weird.
In front of the
maybe
coffin.
maybe they wanted
In
that.
front of the coffin?
Maybe they wanted
It
that.
wasn't open.
I don't
It
know what
wasn't-
I think
Do you clap at the end? Like,
right?
You don't
Good
clap
job.
at funerals.
Clap.
You're
You
just
just like
You don't. Yeah,
you
it's just
end
like the
and
end.
then
You
you
end.
walk
And then you walk away.
you walk away.
wow.
I mean, it was a Christian
was really
funeral.
weird.
What
Doing
song?
funerals are hard in
It
the
was
first
hilarious.
place.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And then you do a dance.
Yeah.
Like as it is, it's already hard to like even be there. And you're like, dance
Oh my
for
god.
us.
Okay.
So weird.
I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah, I'll remember that.
I
So
try to forget that one
we probably do try
Yeah.
to forget that.
So how long did you do the dancing for?
for years.
She's still working on it. She still has
still
a team.
doing
Part of your
Yeah.
choreography now.
There's the videos.
We never stopped.
we never stopped.
Follow her on
God.
TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
All your
just
TikTok
moved.
no,
dances.
we did that probably for like I want to say maybe 5 years.
Oh my! Wait, did you
Too
dance
long.
with her?
Yeah, she did. Like whatever she did, I had to do.
Oh
So
my
like a
gosh.
family dynamic.
Star, Ezra, and Priscilla were all part of our my dance
Cute.
team. So
And
yeah.
those are
I
so
never signed up for
You're
that.
the oldest of those
you
four,
did.
right? You're the oldest of those four.
of those four, yeah.
Okay,
Isai's
so
older than me.
That's why you made them do
Yeah.
it.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it was hard to convince you to do
'cause
anything.
I
So
don't
I don't
like
know
that.
what I said for you to, but you
I
did
think
it.
Dad was like, "You have to do it."
And we even
Oh.
like would wear matching like.
That was the worst.
Oh my god!
That was really bad.
Ah, good times. And then after service, after we'd sold Dad's merch, sometimes if it was a good night, we'd get like Whataburger or whatever was around, and then we would just like chill on the bus and hang out, watch
See,
movies.
that sounds like fun to me.
But
Yeah.
watch movies as in like Little House on the Prairie,
Yeah.
Andy
Oh.
Griffith Show.
Ooh, I like that show.
That's all we were allowed to watch.
Yeah, we were not allowed to watch
Any Disney movies or anything secular.
for a season.
Yeah.
Like we weren't allowed
like
to
us growing up. Like my little siblings did, but we
Yeah.
were never allowed to.
Well, what's the
Really
age
weird.
difference between you and who's next? Priscilla, or
Priscilla.
Ezra? Okay, Ezra's the youngest, right?
There's a 3-year difference between me and
So
Priscilla.
okay, so to walk me through y'all all the ages of you, the six of you
So
guys.
Isai's 30,
Okay,
27, 26, 24.
and who's the? Okay, wait.
Priscilla.
Wait,
what
so
are the
maybe
names?
she's 23 because she's 3 years younger
No,
than me.
she's
too.
going to be 25 this year.
Okay, never mind.
So
2
she's
years.
24.
Okay.
And then Ezra is 20.
Uh huh.
And then Israel is
You have one more.
17.
Israel 17.
I had no idea about the little one.
He's the one who still travels with my parents.
Oh my gosh! I have to see a picture of him because all I remember, all I know
Yeah.
left of is Ezra.
Oh, really?
So Isai is the oldest out of.
Out of the six.
He's number 9.
Wow.
He's number 9.
So fun fact about Isai. So I met him at CBT. He popped into a meeting, and I'm not gonna lie, for like a year, I thought he was Indian.
What?
I thought
I
Isai
love
was
it.
Indian, and I was like,
I
oh, what
love
an
it.
interesting name. And we were friends, and then I found out his last name. I was like, oh, you're not Indian.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
Shout out Isai.
That's awesome.
Hey.
Saved by the last name.
So Isai didn't get to dance.
No, he was excluded from that.
Oh my gosh.
Probably making fun of us.
Okay, so
Probably.
like from then, like you guys are traveling,
Oh my
you're
gosh, wait, I
homeschooling.
just totally
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
So one time we were doing the dance at this church, and some crap guy was out in the audience. Oh, it's hilarious now, but at the time I was so offended. He was doing the Napoleon Dynamite in the audience, like making fun of us. And I remember being like, this guy.
Girl, this is sacred and holy.
This,
Do you know who I am?
right? No.
I am
He
in
was
Guatemala.
literally, and
We
my-
just
my
sound like a
brother-
circus family.
My brother thought it was hilarious because he was like, that was awesome.
And we
And I was
literally
like,
sound like
no.
a circus family.
Yeah, we kind of were.
Let's get back to the basics.
No, I
Just dance and
love
make
it.
burgers in a bus.
Yeah, hold up.
Same. Slept together in bed.
Just 12 of us in the bus making burgers, watching Little House on the Prairie.
Really weird.
So really weird. Oh Lord.
But it was all for the Lord.
God was
Like,
like,
we all got
"Ah."
married really young.
God was like,
I was like, no, I'm good. That ain't for me.
God's I ain't in that.
No.
Oh, Star bringing the
gosh.
facts.
I
Like,
know.
wait, this is weird.
Oh my God.
And like listening back, I'm like, I wasn't scarred, but now I am.
She's like, I do need a book of counseling session.
This is weird.
Oh my gosh.
Funnily
no,
enough, this is brought to you
honestly,
by BetterHelp.
That
I know,
was
right?
that's all we knew. Like it was normal.
Yeah, it was our
Like it
normal.
was normal. And people, it was funny because they would come up to us like in churches or whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, y'all's life must be so amazing." And we were like, "Oh, like cool." Like we didn't
Yeah.
know anything different, and so, yeah, I think it was like a really sweet reality. Our parents they included us in everything, and then like if we would go to like Florida, my dad always booked time for us to go to Disney or
That's
like
cool.
Yeah.
you know, that was as we got older and we were allowed to
Yeah.
watch Disney.
Yeah.
But they always made efforts to like, we're California, Knott's Berry Farm. Like they always
Yeah.
just wanted us to have fun. And
That's awesome.
they like made a lot of efforts for,
They're great
even
parents.
when we lived in Guatemala for a year in 1999 and like every Monday
Whoa.
was family day. And so my dad would leave the day off because in Guatemala, like my dad will be booked every night. Like it's insane
Yeah.
how busy it is over there. And so he would leave Monday as family day. And so we would just go out. We were allowed to go to either grab ice cream or go eat and go like,
Yeah.
we would find some fun place to go to. And so they always invested in us and just made sure that like, as much as ministry was a huge part of their life, they also wanted family and that dynamic to be important. And I think that just really taught us the importance of family and like why we value, I think why we even were good nannies because
Yeah.
we learned to like nurture and love kids
Yeah.
because that's what we saw growing up. And so
I feel like you guys are also so tight knit too. I mean, at least that's what I feel. Honestly, like I think when we first met you guys, like that's when, because our family's so tight knit too, and then we just saw that in you guys also,
You
and
just
we're like, oh, more tight knit families. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
more sisters who like each other. You know, it was a long time ago when we met y'all,
It was
but then
super long ago.
Alyssa was getting married.
Yeah.
when we met.
yeah, was that? No, I feel like it was before that.
I think that's when I met you guys.
maybe.
I know Isai had known you guys though.
Yeah,
before
but because of CBC.
Yes.
And I just sang with him like maybe once or twice. I don't even
That's
remember.
crazy.
I know. So 2016, I think, is when Alyssa got married.
Yeah.
So it's been 4 years.
yeah.
That's wild. Anyway, so I'm curious, like when you guys are like done with high school, it's like time to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, what does that transition even look like coming from like bus life to like not bus life? You know what I mean? Like, because I know you went to college in California. Did you go to college anywhere?
I did not.
Okay.
I was kind of in that space of, I remember graduating and at that point my brother started working
Yeah.
here in San Antonio and then that's when she started nannying.
Yeah.
And so
Was it a weird transition?
super weird because we had
Yeah.
gone from like, we had this group called Pure and we would
Pure.
like, yeah.
Don't
Let's
look
not,
for
it was spelled PUR and the U had
Why
the
are you
little.
telling people how to spell it now? They're gonna like try and look it up.
Look it up.
Hopefully we're not that
Dude,
interesting that they're
not.
like, oh, we're not gonna look this up.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
no, but
no,
it's
we're gonna
just
look
it's
it up.
funny. Like it's
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
funny.
And so we started, we had a band for a few years and we would sing and we even started writing songs and all of that great stuff. But then when my brother decided I want to get married and like, he wanted to provide for his family, so got a job. And then, she was like, I just kind of want to figure out my own thing. And at that time, I really felt like I didn't know what my next step was. I was like, is it college?
Yeah.
Is it, do I just get a job? Like I didn't know. And so I really, I remember just being super frustrated because I didn't know what my next step was. And I was like, I'm not going to be a 30-year-old living with my parents on
Yeah.
the road. Like I'm just not. And, I really had to pray about it. And I was like, okay, God, like you need to show me what my next step is here. Cause I'm just feeling like I don't know what to do and I don't know where to go from here. This is all I've known, So it was
Yeah.
a really interesting, and my parents were not, they were very much like, we groomed you guys for ministry.
Yeah.
So they didn't talk to us about college. They didn't really, like, that wasn't their thing. They didn't even go to college. I think
Yeah.
my mom went for I think she got her associates or something, but that was just not their, you have those families where it's like, oh, it's non-negotiable. Like you
Yeah.
are going to college.
Right.
We were not that family. It
Yeah.
was like, if you want to go figure that out kind of
Yeah.
deal. And so, and I didn't really like school.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed more creative.
I mean, who does like school?
I enjoyed more creative things. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, like these are the things I really like doing, which at that time was singing and all that stuff. And so God at that time just really opened the door for me to, I remember clearly asking him, like, what am I supposed to do? And I remember him saying, be faithful where I've placed you, which to me, I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
like,
but like where though?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I was like, because I've been faithful like all these
Yeah.
years, and I don't know what that looks like. And so I really felt like I wasn't supposed to, like, I was supposed to continue traveling with my dad. I wasn't supposed to stop just yet. And so I did. And I remember at that time I did an online worship university.
Yeah.
And as I did that, I really just feel like God used that to kind of prep my heart for what the season I was currently in. And it was just him affirming certain things and dreams and things that he had like placed in my heart. But I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. Like my siblings, like, which were the best part of me, are gone. Like they're doing their own thing. And I was very much the harmonizer in our band. And so I was just like, I can't do anything without them. So it was just this really weird place I was in. But as I just really sought just guidance and really just prayed through every step, I really felt like he made it clear that I was supposed to continue traveling. I continued doing that. And through that, got the opportunity where I got a record deal, and I
That's awesome.
I had doors open for me that I didn't expect at all. And so I still, like, every time people ask me even about my first album, like, what's the story behind it? I always say it's God's faithfulness, because I couldn't have made it happen for myself. There's just no way. And so it was just, I think, really being sensitive to what he had planned for me and like the season I was in, and being obedient. And there's a whole story behind how that even happened, and even in the details of it. But for me, that's kind of where, and from that moment, once I was associated with certain artists, it's like it launched my career. I remember like being a volunteer like at CBC and singing and all of that. But I always knew like, okay, I always knew that there was more than just that. And so I remember just being like, okay, God, I'm not going to put all my eggs in this basket. Like, I'm just going to be open. And so I was. And so when this happened, then I got calls from worship leaders of like, hey, we will actually compensate you to come and sing at our churches and lead at our churches. And it was very different because I wasn't doing that before. So it's almost like I feel like it also helped people. I think it just associate me as a serious worship leader and as a serious like artist. Yeah. And at that before that, I kind of was just this girl who traveled and sang with her dad, you know? Yeah. So it was a really beautiful thing, the way God kind of put it all together. And to this day, it's amazing. Like I'm a worship pastor for a local church here in San Antonio that also allows me to travel, do my artistry stuff. And so I'm currently in the studio working on like new music, and I'm super excited about it.
When does that drop, by the way? Because I'm so excited for that.
So I actually just got the video like this week.
Oh,
so
good.
It's ready. I'm so excited. Yeah, we recorded the music video in Guatemala. And
it's been a while, I feel.
Oh, yeah. It's been like 6 months since we've recorded it. Oh, yeah. And we've been working on the song for like 2 years. Yeah. So, and I'm working on another song, which I'll show you after this. Yeah. I'm super excited. Okay, It's bilingual, which is the first time we've ever put anything out like that. Yeah. And so now I feel like I'm in this space where even the past 5 years, I've been a part of 1910 Church, which was a great experience. But just in about 2019, I kind of started feeling this stirring of like me needing to really steward and focus on what my giftings were and like the things that God has put in front of me. And the reality is I hadn't really been stewarding it because I was like, well, this is a job. And again, going back to sometimes my motivation can sometimes be like, oh, I need to make sure we're secure in these areas, you know? And so, and that's where being a one and kind of relying on myself sometimes is the challenge in that has been like, I need to trust God and always remember that he's the one who brings the provision and the resources and open doors and all that.
Ooh,
and so
I literally had that today. Like, I'm like, I need to trust God today.
Oh,
like, seriously.
Girl. Yes.
It's so funny.
It's
we can
always
talk about it after, but like, anyway, go ahead.
for sure. They're like, it's a big reminder for me constantly. And so yeah, that's kind of led me to where I am now. But I look back on, had I not really been faithful with what was in front of me, because I remember reaching this moment, and I'll just give you this tiny glimpse of where I was at that time when they had left my bandmates, you know, and even then I feel like she'll go into her story a little bit, how God just used all of that to kind of prep us for where we were headed and where we were going next. Because even my brother, like he really, I don't even know if that's the correct word, but he did a lot of really great things in the corporate world. And
I tried to get him to work at Rackspace.
he moved
He
up
said
the
no.
ladder like very quickly. Like
Yeah.
that's just who he was. And, you know, great paying job, and then got offered a ministry opportunity, which literally like it cut his paycheck significantly.
Yeah.
But he still said yes out of obedience to God, because he
Wow.
knew like this is what I'm called to do. And so even in that, he's thriving and incredible songwriter. And so
Yeah.
super proud of him. So that's the cloth we were cut from, was
Yeah.
very much like, it's not even being as much as, again, the security of finances is a big deal. Like for someone like me, at the end of the day, money has never been motivation,
Yeah.
you know, from a place of like, when God calls you to do something and you say yes, his provision is always better, and it's always greater than what you could even plan for yourself. And so in that, like being able to, you know, just now be, going back to what I was saying. Yeah, I remember getting to this point where I was super frustrated. I had just graduated. They're gone. I'm like, I don't know what to do. We were going to these tiny churches, and I was just like, I don't like, and that's not bad, right?
Yeah.
But my perspective at that time was like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is negative. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to be, and we laugh about it because I ran into my old vocal teacher, and she's like, remember when you wanted to be the next Hannah Montana for Jesus?
Oh,
And I was like, yes, I wanted to be the next Latina Hannah Montana. And
For Jesus.
for Jesus, you know, I wanted to do like arenas and all that stuff, right? Like the whole pop thing. But it's crazy how, so I'd walk into these little churches and be like, there's like 15 people here, you know, like
Yeah.
with such a bad attitude and like just not the right posture. Like my heart wasn't postured right at that time. And so I remember though going through the university, the worship university, which was what God really used to like cleanse my heart and heal my heart, and just really gave me a whole new, I remember going into churches, the same churches, and I remember I wouldn't look out and see how many people were there or present or whatever. It was very much more like, God, just let one person encounter you tonight. Like
Yeah.
that's all I care about, is because that's how my encounter with God came, was through worship. And so I was like, as I sing, if one heart can be healed or one heart can be captivated by you, that's what matters. And so it was like my perception shifted. But before that happened, I was in such a frustration that I was like, I remember almost going to my dad and being like, I am just going to go to school and go work at Starbucks and figure my life out because I
Yeah.
can't do this. But God wouldn't let me. Like I really tried, and it just, God was like, that ain't for you,
Yeah.
you know? And so,
Yeah.
and I look at my life now, and even the experiences I've had, which have been insane. Like even to go into it is just insane. But I am so grateful that I was obedient to him even when it didn't make sense, because it didn't. There was
Right.
a time when it didn't make sense. And so I'm just super grateful that my parents really grounded us to just follow what he had for our lives, and not just simply go based off of what seemed right or what made sense, you
Yeah.
know, but to really be intentional. So
Yeah. I feel like y'all's upbringing really kind of paved the way. Like
Oh, for sure.
just like what you guys did is so unique, you know, like nobody else does that, you know, like I just feel like that's what makes y'all, so your story is like so unique and special.
Because
and
even
like,
now, as adults, like in our lives, like I feel like I don't know a lot of people that are like us, that it's like, oh, we're worship leaders and we get to like, you know, just do music and be creative, and like especially at our age,
I'm
too,
so
it's like,
jealous.
and it's not even that thing of like, it's just like I sit back and I'm like, wait, there's not like a lot of people that get to do this, that have this opportunity,
Yeah.
and this is like their livelihood,
Right.
Like, I mean, I think we both feel like really fortunate to be able to do that. And I think sometimes, especially me, I like growing up, I was like, oh, I need to have a career. Like that's going to define me. And there's nothing wrong with it, because like if I need to, I would love to go and be a nurse. Like it's just something I would love to do. But it's like, I think, like you said, growing up, it really paved the way for us. And even now, like in our adulthood, it's still like, we're like really unique in that aspect of what we get to do.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about like so obviously you're younger.
Yeah.
Did you guys graduate at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did.
We
That was a
literally
little
did.
bit confusing to me. So you decided to go to school in California. Like what like made you like just basically uproot
Up and leave.
from your family? Because I feel like you guys, that was probably really disruptive for everybody. Like what? I don't know if you want to go into detail or like
I mean,
what-
it's like such a long story, but I think for me I was like, if you put me and D together, I was more of the black sheep. and I just wanted to like do things my way, and I
Yeah.
was very much.
I can identify with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think for me, I always knew I needed to get away, and I was involved in like some toxic relationships, and I was like, I need to go, and I knew for me, I had to go. If not, I would continue in that. So I just like literally from one day to the next, like decided to leave. Like it wasn't even it wasn't even a conversation. Like it was like I applied to go, I got accepted within 3 days, and I was like, okay, well, I'm leaving like in 2 months.
Yeah.
So sorry, like this is what I need to do, and like my parents were really supportive of it.
Yeah. It's a good Christian school.
Yeah, it was a good Christian school, but like even living in California, like it was so like obviously really far from my family.
Yeah.
But I just knew I needed to do it, and I'm like a really headstrong person. Like if I want something, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
I
like
just
me.
literally,
I like left. I went to Oklahoma to school. I was like, bye everybody.
Yeah, and it's just something I
Yeah.
needed for myself. Like I
Yeah.
spent 2.5 years over there, and I just needed it for myself. It was a lot of self-aware, like becoming self-aware of things and getting to like live on my own, and that was nice. Like honestly, I have no complaints, and I recommend it.
We were texting before, and I was like, tell us what are fun things to do in Reading.
I'm like,
Well,
read
There
the
like
Bible.
anything
I
fun to
know.
do
There
in
really
Reading?
wasn't anything.
sushi
Like go to San
bar.
Francisco,
the Target.
and
go
go to
Even
San-
Scott now
They
is
don't
like,
even
there's
have
nothing
a
to do.
Chick-fil-A.
There's nothing.
I know, that's crazy.
No, that was crazy.
You would think they would there.
Right?
But I will
I
say, I do
know.
recommend that
They have it now.
everyone, I know it's not for everyone, but I do recommend that at some point everyone just kind of like up and leaves and goes and just does
Don't think
something,
about it
like-
too much. Just do it.
My parents, I did
Yeah.
the same thing with Disney in college. They were on campus. I
wow.
skipped a class one day, and they were interviewing for that college program. And I
You
went
skipped
and
a class?
I went and I applied, and I found out like a week later I got it, and I told my parents, I was
Wow.
like, hey, next month I'm taking a break from school and I'm going to go work at Disney for a little while. And
Dang, that's awesome.
I don't know, that it's such a good experience.
Yeah, it really
I like
was.
that you did that.
Yeah.
I identify with everything you said.
Thank you. My story's not as long as Dee's, but
Sorry,
short and
guys,
sweet.
I told you I talked too much.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I think
And you were there for 3 years?
2.5.
2.5
Yeah.
years. And
So
like,
then I came home and got engaged.
did you? So yeah. So okay, let's talk a little bit about that. So like you went to school. You were there for 2.5 years. I guess like what made you decide? That's your phone. What
You're
made you
fine.
decide to like come back?
There was internships for third year
Yeah.
in my school, and I remember clearly telling the Lord, like, if I don't get it with this one specific person, like, I'm not going to come back.
Yeah.
And I actually got offers from like 3 other amazing people that anyone would probably be like, you're dumb to not take that.
Yeah.
I was part of the worship team there, and it
Yeah.
was like, I just was like, no, like I came back, and I
Which
kinda-
that was amazing too. Like,
Yeah.
because I was even listening to a video today. Christine was talking about it, but to audition, like to be a part of that, like that worship team, like I think 300 people audition and they only choose 8.
Wow.
And she was one of the
8?
8
Mhm.
that got chosen, which was incredible.
Wow.
Again, going back to like,
and I
think
actually
what-
didn't like singing like as much as you guys.
I know. I
did.
remember she called me.
I was like, I don't think
She
I'm gonna
called
go
me that
audition.
day and she was like, I don't think I'm going to go. And I was like, why? And she goes, because I don't know. Like, I'm just not going to go. And I was like, just go. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Like, if they say no, whatever, you're
You're
no
still
better-
here.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
And so she's like, so you had even planned, like, you were like, let's just go.
Let's
in.
just go like look at the competition, like listen to them.
Scout out the worship
Yeah, for real. Me and
competition.
one of my good friends that was there, like, we're like, let's just go
Man.
sit in the back and like listen. And she was like, okay, like, sure. And we got there, and I hadn't even put my purse down to like sit in the back row, and they called my name.
Right when they,
Oh
when
my
she
And
God.
I was
gets
the last
there.
to sign up because I actually signed up at school.
Oh my gosh.
And you had months to sign up before. So I even asked, like, I was like, how are you
Wow.
going to call names like by alphabetical order? They're like, no, by how you signed up. So I was like,
But I signed
oh,
up at the end.
I'm going to be like way in the back.
Yeah.
And, like, I was the second group to go.
Ooh,
up and
they
sing.
like flipped it around. I bet they were like, "All right, who signed up
Yes,
last?"
for real.
gosh.
And you have to sing
Wow.
for 30 seconds, and the key was wrong. When I asked for them to sing, I said in D, and they did it in G, and I was like, well,
rude.
I hate it,
Whoa.
literally.
Whatever.
Whenever they do that, jeez.
Wow.
So yeah, that was fun. That was an experience
Yeah.
for sure. But so yeah,
But
I
your
had a
time
lot
there
of.
was over, and you were just like, yeah.
I'm very much where when I know something's when a season's over, I'm not gonna push it
yeah.
because I feel like God is still gonna see you through whatever, but I don't feel like you have the grace for it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm very much like I
Ooh.
don't want to do that anymore.
That was good. That hit me a little late, but that's crazy.
So
That's
yeah.
true though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So then you came back and then you met your husband like immediately, or
Well, I had known
confused.
him. I had known him for
Yeah.
years because obviously going to CBC.
so were you at CBC before you went to California?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I was at CBC. We were there for like 3 years. And then I left, and then I came back. They had moved churches, and my husband now was like at that church too, playing
1910?
bass.
At
No,
that time, no, it was another church.
yeah,
Right?
if someone like they branched off from CBC.
Oh, Coach Val's
Yes.
church.
Yeah,
Got it.
210.
yeah,
yeah,
210.
yeah.
I was like trying
All
to remember
these
the name. I was
numbers.
like, what is the name?
210. 210.
So when I came back and like we started talking, and yeah, we started dating like what, a couple months into it? I don't know. I came home for the summer.
And then you started
and then
dating?
We started dating.
Ooh.
And then we got engaged like in like 9 months, I think, after that.
Oh
So
my gosh. Wow.
but I had known him, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like I just came. It wasn't like The Bachelor.
Yeah, I know, right? 12 weeks later.
12
Alyssa's the same
weeks.
thing too. Alyssa, she started dating David, and I think 9 months later they were married or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, they got married, but they were friends before.
Yeah.
So like, and they had known each other for a long
Yeah.
time. So it was-
Were.
And
That's,
he's
like,
like
kinda
older
quick.
than me too, so he
How
was
much
more
older?
mature. 7 years.
oh my gosh. Wait, how old are you?
26.
Okay, I'm like his age.
Yeah. I just have an
Like,
old. I have an
way
old
older.
soul though. I have an old
You
soul.
do,
So
you
like I
do.
just.
So
I
that's
don't
not
know.
that big of an
It,
age
it
gap.
does
It's
freak
not
me
huge.
out.
It's good.
It does freak me out every time I figure out how
So I
old
can
you are.
date a
Every time you like
25-year-old.
remind me, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot you're so young. Freaks me out because I think like both y'all, like it freaks me out how like
We have old
young
souls.
y'all are. I
Yeah,
guess.
we
Yeah.
have old souls for sure.
I don't know. That's crazy. Well, then how did you meet your husband then?
So we also met at CBC.
Yeah.
He played drums and
CBC worked out for everybody else. Jeez.
Our
I
husbands
Sorry,
were really
Abe.
good friends. Like they went way back. Like
So
when
is
they were little.
Trent and David, not little,
Really?
but like they're both from California too, and they both knew each other
What?
before.
What?
Yeah,
That is crazy.
I know.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
I
but
love
we met
that.
at Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Aw.
Aw.
Shout out.
Stay in church.
Not shout out.
Stay in church. Wow. Stay in church.
That's why I started going back.
People.
Just kidding.
That's gonna be
You
the
don't
that's
need to
gonna be
sign
the
up for
title of
Bachelor. You
this.
just need to stay in
Just
church.
stay in church.
The title of this podcast is gonna be "Stay in Church."
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh
Joe,
yeah, so
drummer.
our husbands were friends like way back. They have like baby pictures together practically, which is so funny. But we met at CBC. We dated for 5 years,
Whoa.
which ads will
She
not
was in for the
recommend.
long
yeah.
haul.
Oh,
But we were
rude,
also
Joe.
babies. Like we were 19 when we started like dating. So,
So was Trent, but I was 23.
we were 19 and broke.
yeah, I get it.
So
Let me rephrase that.
yeah. Let me go back. Yeah. So we dated for 5 years. We started dating in 2011, got engaged in 2015, and then got married in 2016.
Nice.
So so we kind of had a long
Yeah.
relationship for sure. But it was good for us. I'm a 1, he's an 8. We have
He's
very
an 8?
intense. Yes,
Ooh.
we have very intense personalities.
So Peter Weber's definitely not an 8.
Definitely not.
No.
that's why
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
there's no way.
That's why I was like, what?
Like,
No,
there's
he's a
no
2.
way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had to kind of work through a lot of things, and we also came from completely different worlds.
Yeah.
Like my family's super tight knit. Everybody's in everyone's business. He practically raised himself, so they're not as tight knit as we are. And so when he kind of came into my family, it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
like it was like y'all are a lot.
Yeah. Does he
And
have a lot of siblings too, or no?
they're about 6 of them as well, but
Okay.
they're not like they kind of all
Yeah.
do their own thing, and like they're friends and whatnot, but
Yeah.
they're not like we were like what
Yeah.
and so it was like a lot. And I think all
Like
of our spouses
we would know that they like Joe would we would know that they were gonna have a fight before Joe and even be like, oh, she's coming for you. She's real mad.
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, we just I'm very confrontational, so I would just like if anything
And he's
made
an
me
8, so he's
upset,
probably confrontational too.
yeah. So if anything made me
he
like
is.
I was like I need to call that out.
Yeah.
And so we obviously have grown a lot and we're huge on like couples therapy and counseling because like it's just an amazing outlet, especially for personalities like ours that
Yeah.
we're both intense. And so we're also not like the whole sweeping it under the rug thing is not a good thing,
Yeah.
And so but at the same time like yelling and intensity is not good either. So there's a
Yeah.
healthy balance. And like, I remember one of our counselors was like, y'all just need to learn how to like, there's a healthy way to fight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, can you teach us
Yeah,
what that
what does
looks
that
like?
mean?
Yeah. So
Excuse me, ma'am. What does that mean? Excuse me. Can you teach me?
yeah, no, so it was, I think the 5 years was really good for us because we just kind of hashed out a lot of things in our dating life.
Yeah.
And we were on and off a little bit too, which I think also helped us kind of really figure out that we wanted each other,
Yeah.
like to be together.
Aw.
So yeah, like I'm obsessed with my husband. He's an amazing, amazing man. And I could not do like what I do. No one understands my life really. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It really is. And like the fact that he works like 2 incredible jobs right now and
He
travels
works
with
2
me.
jobs?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So he's assistant manager
Oh,
for
no
local
way.
coffee,
Oh my
and then
God.
he's a project manager for another company that his friend has. And so,
Oh my God.
and he's like basically my road manager when we
Yeah.
travel because
Wow.
he deals with all the pastors and like booking and all that, like my calendar and
he
hotels.
probably
and
loves it being an 8 though.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
great at
Yeah.
it. Like I rarely see him stressed, and when I do, I'm like, oh God.
What's funny is he doesn't seem like an 8 to me.
He doesn't,
At least
right?
every interaction I've ever had with Joe, it's like
So chill.
super relaxed,
Yeah.
super chilled out.
Yeah.
Even when I saw him back at CBC back in the day playing drums, I was like, I feel like this guy, like, yeah, super chill.
You know,
What about
he's
EK? What's EK?
he's so very chill for
Ooh,
sure.
what is
But
Geeky?
I think
I'm really bad with
I
the
feel like
numbers.
Geek is a 9 or a 2.
Oh,
I don't
he's a
know.
2.
Then he's probably a 9
He
because
doesn't
he's
l-
very
He
like.
doesn't like confrontation.
Oh no.
Oh, he's a 9.
That's why I think he's
Yeah.
a 9.
Alyssa's a 9 too. Alyssa just
Oh,
texted me.
he like.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to text.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
she
wait,
coming for the podcast?
Yeah, she's coming.
she's on her way.
That'd be
Show up.
so
He's-
funny.
yeah, he's very
she's
much
totally
like
fine.
Yeah.
like just quiet and kind and very like slow to like anger and all that.
Yeah.
Like
Did either of you guys do premarital counseling before y'all?
yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's cheaper too when you get your marriage license. Do y'all know
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
that?
Well, I don't know how much
Oh,
we
we didn't
paid.
get that deal.
Yeah. So they told us. So when we got married, they were like, "Hey, you can take 6 weeks of premarital counseling, and it's $12, or you cannot.
What?
And it's $70.
Yeah, I think that's what I was
gonna
gonna say. I think we paid 80.
Yeah, so like it's like the whole Texas has like that program to prevent divorce,
Oh,
basically.
awesome.
So like
Way
you
to
go,
go,
I know,
Texas.
right? Well, I mean that was like in 2013, so I don't know if they still do it. Maybe not.
They
I
did
don't
not
know.
tell us that.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like they do have that though.
Well, I'm
'cause-
sure they
Yeah.
should, but
Abe, what do you
crazy.
think?
So when I did my
Can you get off your
premarital-
phone, Abe?
I was
Please.
I
texting
know.
my future wife.
Who was it? Who is it?
She
Pick
had
it up.
CBC.
Her name's Trent Garcia.
Wow.
Excuse
God.
me. What? It's mine.
You got
back
some
there.
competition.
I know.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, she's in the
Ain't
lead
no
'cause she's
competition.
married.
Yeah. I'm in the lead.
She's in the lead.
But we had
Side
to do
piece.
the love languages.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
So
a good
obviously it
one.
was before
That's
the
really good.
Enneagram crap was
Right.
happening. Yeah. But it's funny because we actually talked about it and we had Trent in our podcast and David about Valentine's Day like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. And Trent's love language, or my top one is physical touch. Like I love like touching and love whatever. And his is like the lowest is physical touch.
Really?
So we have to like learn
Yeah.
and like
Crazy.
talk about it.
Yeah,
and
that's
For
stuff.
definitely
sure.
me and Giga, but I'm opposite. Like I'm like, don't touch me.
Really?
I don't.
that she's by you.
I know.
No. I'm actually.
No, I
touching.
like
I'm
it. No, I love it. It makes me
No.
happy. I like
I'm
it.
physical
She's
touch.
physical touch.
Me
But
too.
actually, more than that, I'm actually acts of service.
Really?
Like if you do something for me, I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
thank you. Like seriously, like
Yeah.
it could be anything, but like that people like I'm not really a big gifts person at all, and I
Me
I
neither.
love
Gifts
giving
are
gifts.
hard.
Suck
I
at
hate
giving
gifts.
gifts.
I don't
as
like
well,
getting them, but I love
which
giving gifts.
I can.
so
I
bad.
like giving gifts. I don't like
Yes.
getting gifts.
I'm not good at giving.
No one understands that
No.
because they're like, wait, if you like giving them, it's because you like getting them. I'm like,
No.
no,
I don't like either of it.
Really, I love.
I'm
giving
like, my
gifts.
presence is present.
Like my husband
Yes.
does not like to give
Yeah.
gifts because he's just like it doesn't like get it throughout the year if you
I'm
want it. And then like on Christmas Eve, I'll like wrap like 5 gifts for him, and he's just like, I'm like, what did you get
I
me?
mean,
And he's like,
obviously-
I mean, I didn't know what you wanted.
Oh
I'm like,
my
no.
God.
Here's
Do
a
they give gift
card.
cards?
I know. Here's a gift
No,
card.
he doesn't.
Gift cards.
Just
Yeah,
like
I do
honestly,
gift
just go
cards.
buy
I
whatever
hate
you want.
gift
I'm
cards.
like,
I'd
okay,
rather
that's
get
not how
like
it
a
works,
gift
whatever.
gift.
Seriously?
You
Then
what?
You would not
I'd
like
rather
a
get a
gift
gift.
from me.
Like instead of a gift card.
I'd rather get a
I
gift
just
card.
give you money or I give you a gift card because I'm
then
like
it
I don't
shows,
know
like,
what
oh,
you want.
thought about
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Yes.
But I'm
But
also,
you know what I don't want is to buy something that you're not going to use.
Yeah.
That makes me mad.
That's why I
Me.
make a very specific list. And when people go
Okay,
off
there
of
you
it,
go.
it's one of those like, well, I literally gave you a roadmap.
Well,
Well,
that's good. At
Not
least you
go
do that.
wrong.
Any of y'all quality time?
I'm definitely quality
Yeah.
time.
I'm
Number
quality
one.
time.
I would say my top
Number
two
two.
are quality time and acts of service.
Mine's quality time and physical touch.
Are these what you like to give or get?
Yeah.
What I like to get is quality time.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
like
like to
both.
give gifts.
I like to feel, like to touch people, and I like to be touched.
I used to be physical touch, and then I not anymore.
I've never been physical touch.
Really?
Mm-mm.
But your elbow's on me now. Don't you feel
but
love?
I think that's
I
because
love
I have
it.
so many siblings.
Yeah.
Like, so I would
Yeah.
never tell you like, oh, don't touch me. But
Yeah.
like,
we don't know.
but
the
like,
whole
I don't
privacy
need it. Like,
invasion
I'm
thing.
not
It's
like,
like
yeah.
that doesn't.
This is making me
exist.
really happy. It's just like
Really?
lifting up my
Oh my
love tank. It's so weird. I know.
okay.
I know. No,
Just like
me
feel
just
my
lay on
energy.
No, so like I'm used to it. Like I'm not gonna be weird about it. Like
Yeah.
I don't. I mean,
So
whatever,
that's physical
but-
touch.
I just
That's
don't.
my
I
number
don't care
two.
for it.
Yeah. Okay, so what are there any like last minute stories that you guys want to share with the Messy Bun Sisters podcast audience? Like we talked about college, talked about marriage, we talked about growing up.
I feel like we're all over the place, which
No.
reminded me is
I'm
like
so
this
sorry.
podcast is gonna be insane.
No, we
I
had
know.
we hit
I feel so
everything.
bad.
No, we hit
Laughed,
every
we
I'm
single.
like,
cried.
wow.
What's your worst sin you ever committed? Go
Yes,
for it.
let's bring that out.
No.
Oh my god, no.
Oh,
you're not? I was like ready. I was like, wait, what story? do I
Okay,
have?
I was
Just
like,
kidding.
It's your
You
worst
start.
and your favorite.
Your favorite
And they're
sin?
usually the same.
Oh
Okay?
my gosh.
Gluttony.
Oh, you know
Me.
what? Yeah.
Eat a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're probably right. Me too.
Love to eat.
I feel like that's like me too. So that's
Shout out.
Shout out to Gluttony.
Yeah, yeah.
shout out to.
Oh my
There's some
gosh.
crazy stories.
Yeah.
Gosh, I feel like there's.
We talked about your
I
dancing.
mean, I feel like our life was a crazy
That's-
story.
Yeah, I feel like this whole podcast is a crazy story.
I love it though.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so what is y'all's favorite memory growing up as sisters, I guess? Or did y'all ever have like a crazy
yeah.
fight?
Oh yeah.
all the time. I would get spanked only if I left marks.
On my body.
Well, we would fight. Like if I clawed my nails,
Yeah.
I would get spanked
literally
just
lifted
looking at you
skin. Then
wrong.
I'd get spanked. But like if I just like,
But you hardly ever got spanked.
well, I remember getting spanked.
My parents were very big on like
Discipline.
Yeah,
Discipline.
same. I got spanked a lot.
like nowadays it's like not heard of.
It's crazy.
funny.
It's like not even a thing now. It's
Yeah.
like
Like,
time
spank
out
your
or a
kids, people.
consequence.
I know.
I would
Spank
spank
them.
my kids.
Yes,
Nowadays,
thank
I'd-
you.
yeah.
I feel like I probably would too.
Yeah, for sure. See if
Yeah.
they're like Lucy. I'll never have to spank
Aw.
them. Right, Miss
I think
Goose?
you just have to know your kid. Some
Yeah.
kids need it, some kids don't.
Yeah,
that doesn't
it's
make
true.
you a bad mom.
I don't think
You
I think
definitely
someone
got
needs to hear that.
I think you got spanked way
did
more
get
than
spanked
I
the most.
did.
I got
Would you
spanked
deserve
the
it though?
most,
Like,
too.
would you
Oh,
mouth
yeah.
off and like kind of be like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
would-
She would roll her eyes.
Me
like,
too.
I mean, I don't feel like
wild.
that's like just
No,
for spanking,
that was in
but my
Spanish.
mom
We
was
called
real
that
crazy.
grosera, and if
Ooh.
you were grosera, you were gonna get
I was
it.
real grosera.
I
how
got
would
slapped
y'all
in the
get
face.
spanked? Okay, because here's the deal. Like everyone thinks like spanking your kids. White people, they actually like. White people actually like spank their kids.
It's okay, you're half
But
white,
like
right?
Mexican families, like
Oh,
I remember we
the
got punished
chancleta.
differently. I would get hit with a spoon on the top of my feet, like
What?
a wooden spoon on the top of my
Ow!
feet. But I don't know, all I know is I don't know. It's different. How'd y'all
I've
get
never-
spanked?
We had a paddle.
We had a paddle.
Oh,
and it
My
was
dad
an
had a
actual
paddle.
wooden paddle that my dad had made.
did they have
So-
holes in it to where it would
No,
hurt
he
more?
wasn't-
The wind
he
would
wasn't
like.
mean.
whoop.
It actually was this massive. In Guatemala, they make like huge things of beans.
So it was
And
like
it was like
big,
this wooden
thick
spoon,
wooden
that
spoon.
was like huge. It was like it was massive.
Well, maybe
and
now that
so-
we're older,
Tennis
it wouldn't
racket.
look
They would no, it was huge.
huge. It was pretty big.
It would
was like,
pretty much cover our bottom,
Oh,
and we would
no.
get like a
Yeah.
pizza. And you would get spanked
get
with
It's a
that.
smacked.
pizza oven thing.
For real, seriously. It's like
we would get
Two-handed?
smacked.
it's like out of here.
So Star would get spanked the most out of all 6 of your siblings.
Actually,
Me and
Sai.
Isai, yeah.
Really?
But it was because I would like
Saeed,
I
he's
wouldn't
such a
talk
sweetie.
back.
on here. It would be so
I wouldn't
fun.
talk
Yeah.
back. I would just like roll my eyes, and I was like, my faces. I think were more like my mom.
Like
could not
one time, my
stand
mom
it.
was spanking her and she was laughing, and that like pissed
I
my
used to
mom
do
off
that.
even more.
I feel like Trent used to do that
'Cause
too,
I was
didn't you,
like-
babe?
And I was the one who was like,
Yeah.
no, Mom, no. And I'd run. Like, yeah. And she was
I was
just like, just get it
hurry
over
up.
with.
That's all you
So-
got.
Fine. I know.
Dang.
Did y'all ever hit back?
No.
I don't think we ever did.
Oh, my God. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Abe has told a story in his podcast, but tell us on this
What?
podcast what
Wait,
happened.
what?
Slap my mom.
We have more
when
watchers.
She was hitting me.
Oh
You
no.
did not.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
My mom was slapping. Well,
What's slapping me?
so hold up. So she didn't take me to the toy store like she promised.
Oh
And-
my God.
God.
How old
Was
were
in-
you?
So you were a
Uh,
brat.
Probably like 18. No. Probably
Probably
like
like 18. she
9 or
promised.
10. Maybe 9, 10. And
that's old enough.
I had heard her
Yeah.
say the B word. Beautiful. Not that word. A different word.
Oh, my God.
And I had heard her say that word plenty of times. I knew it was bad, but not that bad.
Oh,
and so
God.
I was in the very back seat of the
No,
car,
I can
and I was
feel
like,
where this-
"Mom, you're being a," and so I got home, and she was spanking me, and I turned around and I slapped her, and I ran out of the house, and then she waited till my
cry?
dad got home, and I got hit like twice as hard. Now I'm from a Mexican Iranian family, so it's like crazy punishment in the
My
house. So.
God.
So she didn't even care that you ran out of the house. Like I would have been like, oh
She's-
my gosh, I'm so
Oh
sorry.
no, she straight up left me, and she was so mad, and then because I slapped
She
her,
left you outside
she was like,
a
she was
dog.
like, you can stay outside, then your dad's coming home, and then it was
Oh,
horrible.
my
But y'all never like
God.
hit back, pushed back, anything like that.
No.
No.
I'm not a psycho.
Like we knew when my parents were gonna spank us, it was like serious.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I would
They
just
didn't
laugh
mess
because I
around.
mean my mom, yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Would your
mom.
dad ever spank you?
Yeah, we knew. It
You
was
know what my
bad.
brother did once?
When
This
my dad
is
would
really
spank us,
cute.
we knew it was bad.
This is a story.
Okay.
My brother,
brother?
Isai,
Uh-huh.
he was like, we both got in trouble, him and I, and we were both told you're going to both get spanked. And so we got to the hotel or the bus. I don't remember where we were staying at that time. And he was like, I'll take her spanking, thinking that,
I volunteer as tribute.
yes, exactly. Thinking that my parents would be like, and like not spank either of us. Oh, you better believe my dad gave him both his and
Oh
mine.
no! He really took yours, and
He
did you get
took
yours at
it.
all?
I didn't get it. He was
Oh
like
my
Jesus
God.
and took my place.
Shandodo Bobo. Wow.
And that's why y'all are best
He
friends.
took the place for me,
Mm.
so I could be free.
You know he's never doing that again.
Oh, never. He was like, "What the heck?"
No.
And he used to put. He's gonna be so mad.
I know, we're-
He used to put toilet paper in his butt.
Oh.
That's smart.
So my parents. That's how much he got spanked, though. He
Yeah.
had to come up with these tricks. So
I get
Gosh.
spanked a lot. I got spanked, I think, the most. Slapped across the face because I would
Yeah.
talk back.
My mom-
Around
I
my
got
eyes.
slapped
That's
by
so
one
unlike
of those
you.
children that I nannied. That was crazy.
Wait.
I
You
remember,
cried.
like,
You
I
called me
cried.
crying.
I
Wait,
cried.
they slapped you?
The little kid. It was like he was like 4.
Oh, I thought you said the parents slapped
Three.
you. I was like, for
Oh,
what?
God.
Like,
God, no, parents
Gosh.
love me.
Yeah.
No, the little kid, he was like going through a phase or something, and like he just, I don't know what I told him. Like he needed to eat his food or something, and he was just agitated
Absolutely.
and
not.
just like slapped
She
me
was
across
crying.
the face. I was in shock because here's the thing: the moment he did it, he started screaming. Like I
Yeah.
think he freaked himself out, and
Yeah.
I was like. But it hurt so
Yeah.
bad that like I literally called her and I was like I was crying. I was like I don't know like what just happened.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
If that would have been
Gosh.
your kid, would you have smacked him back?
Are you- Probably, but I
I would've.
probably would have told Joe to do it.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
would
would've
have been
smacked him
like,
right.
yeah.
I think
I
I
would have
never-
waited. I'd been like,
I've never been slapped.
But you know what
before,
though?
So I was
if you're
just
calm
like,
and
what?
collected and like you're like
mhm.
your dad's gonna get you.
That's
when you come back.
scarier.
That's scary.
For sure.
Yeah, but then with how
Yeah.
sweet my husband is,
Yeah.
they'd be like, really? You promise?
Yeah.
He's gonna handle it.
It's gonna be so much better.
Good call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
But that's the thing that Trent and I have talked about too. Is like I'm kind of rowdy and crazy,
Yeah.
and you know that if Trent is like so sweet and kind, that if he's mad,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
then that's
Yeah.
it.
That's how it was with my dad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's the
same,
end.
If
yeah.
my dad was upset with us, we were like, oh no.
I know that's the end of it.
yeah, we preferred like for Mom to spank us than Dad for sure.
Yeah.
Because Dad was just he had a heavy hand. So
Ay.
Oh
My
my
mom
gosh.
was worse for
Really?
sure.
really,
My dad only in like situations like I just said would he give it worse, but my dad was a little bit softer. He was a little
Oh,
nicer.
that's sweet.
He only needed
Aw.
to step in.
He only hit you like twice versus my mom would like give you a lecture while she's spanking you, and it always was like the longest story ever.
Oh. Well,
Oh my gosh.
all right, guys. Thank
my
you for
goodness.
listening. How long have we been going,
Oh
Trent?
my gosh.
We
So
just did the
sorry,
review
Trent.
right now.
I think he stopped
It's
recording
just
us.
the end of the review. Well, thank you guys for coming on the podcast. We'll have to have you guys on
Yes.
again when Alyssa's actually
Yes.
here.
Aw,
Thanks
And
for
maybe we'll
stepping
bring
in,
Issa
Amy.
and
Yeah, it's
Eve.
cool.
that would be
That'll
so
be fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll bring the whole clan.
Oh my God, all 6 of us. Can you imagine?
I don't think we have enough mics, but maybe. All right, guys. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe.
Subscribe. Leave a review.
Leave a review of the week.
Review. You might get
Don't
read
forget to
next
stay
week.
in church.
Stay in
Stay in
church.
church. It worked out for 3
Out
of the
of
4.
four.
Yes.